Hello students, welcome back class 11. Today I am discussing our MySQL commands. Okay students, so first we start our MySQL. Start all programs in MySQL. You can see MySQL server, and here we can use MySQL 5.5 command line. Okay students, so first we open our MySQL server. Here I am using root password. Okay, and then we want to show all the databases list, so we can use show databases. Okay, so it will display all the database list on MySQL server, but I want to open a school database, so we can use school semicolon enter, so it will open school database. But I want to show all the table inside in school database, so here I am using show tables, so it will display show tables all the student. But I want to see the details, how many columns name, data types. Here I am using describe student, so you can see describe, it will display the SID, name, city, date of birth, fees, integer, where character, primary key, and where character, date. Okay, you can see table we already created. Now here I want to see the records, so we can use select star from student, so it will display all the data of our student table. Okay, so last time I have discussed about order by command, selected command, calculated command. Okay, today I am using where clauses. So you can see select star from student. Okay, but I want to see where. Here I am using new thing is where. Okay, so where I want to see the details of roll number 101. So here I am using SID is equal to 101. Okay, so here 101 is our matching. Okay, roll number 101. Then press enter. So you can see here student ID 101. Okay, so you can see all the details of student ID 101. You can see 101 name, Ra, city, quota, date of birth you can see, and fees you can see. So in this command we can see the selectively data. Okay, now suppose you want to see the detail of 102. So here I am using select star from student where SID is equal to 102. So it means all the details of student 102. So here I am using where SID 102. So you can see all the detail of roll number 102. Suppose I want to see the detail of roll student ID 103. So here I am writing select star. You can use this style also from student. Here we can use where SID is equal to 103. Here I am using SID 103. Okay, last time is single line, we can also use in multi-line, but last you can use semicolon to terminate this command. So you can see the output of this, so you can see only student ID 103. Okay, so will display 103 details you can see. Suppose I want to see the detail 104 Nitin Rajkot, so we can use select, okay, star means all the columns from student. Here I am using where SID is equal to 104. So it means this command will display in student ID 104 all the details. So you can see all the details of 104 Nitin Rajkot, date of birth, and you can see fees. Suppose I want to see the details of 105. So here I am using select, okay, star from, here I am using student, and here I am using where SID is equal to 104. So you can see all the details of 104 you can see. Suppose I want to see the detail of 105 student ID. So here I am to select star from student where SID is equal to 105. So you can see all the details of 105 you can see. Okay students, so here you can see all the columns of particular student, but I want to see only name. So here I am using only name from where SID, here student ID 105. Okay, so you know student ID 105, what is the name? It will display Amit, because here I am using Amit. So student ID 105, okay, this is our condition, and it will display the name of 105. It will display Amit. Suppose I want to see the city. So here I am using select city from student where SID is equal to 105. So you can see student ID 105, so it will display only city Jamnagar. Okay, suppose I want to see date of birth of student ID 105. So here I am using select date of birth from student where SID is equal to 105. So only student ID 105, you can see the only date of birth. Suppose you want to see the fees of student ID 105. So here I am using select, here I am using fees. Okay, you clearly mention fees. Okay, fees, then we can use from student, we can use where SID is equal to 105. So you can see only the fees you can see of student ID 105. Suppose I want to display multiple things of 105. So here I am using select, here I am using name, here I am using city. Okay, so you can see here I am using two things, name and city. I want to see of student ID 105. So from student, here I am using where SID is equal to 105. So you can say, now this time you can see the two things, student ID 105, but you can see the name Amit, and city you can see Jamnagar. Suppose you want to see select name, comma city, comma fees also. So from, we can use student, we can use where SID is equal to 105. So this time you can see only selectively data. You can see student ID 105, you can see Amit, Jamnagar and fees. Suppose you want to see again student ID. Okay, again you want to see student ID. Okay, name and fees. So you will include again SID for viewing purpose. So no problem. From student where SID is equal to 105. So again you can see student ID 105 Amit, and so here where we can mention condition. Okay, so equal to is our relational operator. Okay, so here I am showing, so you can see relational operator. So here equal to is our relational operator. Okay, so we can use greater than, less than, greater than, equal to, less than, equal to, not equal to. Okay, so these operator we can use to see the selectively data. Okay, now here I am using select stars, because I want to see all the columns from student. Okay, here I am using where is important, SID, here I am using not equal to 105. So you can see here this is the opposite of equal, so it is not equal to. So you can see, so except 105 you can see remaining all 101 Raj, Kota, 102 Sohan, 103 Mohan, 104 Nitin. Okay, so you can use select star from student where SID. You can also use this style, exclaim is equal to, this is also is not equal to. Okay, so same output you will get. Either you can use less than, greater than, this style, or you can also use is not equal to operator, exclaim equal to. So same thing you can use for is not equal to. Okay, so here 105 you cannot see. Suppose I want to see select star from student where SID, here I am using greater than, here I am using greater than. So you can see 105 greater than. So you can see there is no student ID greater than 105. Okay, so it will display empty set. Okay, now here I am using select star from student, here I am using where SID, here I am using SID is equal to also. Here I am using equal to. So either greater than or equal to. So equal to also it will check. So okay, but here greater than not working, but here equal to is working. So you can see 105 data you can see. Okay student, now here I am using select star from student where SID, here I am using less than, here I am using less than 105 semicolon. Okay, so you can see, so less than you can see 101, 102, 103, 104, and here I am using star. Star means all the columns less than 105. So you can see all the details of 105 you can see. Here I am using select star from student where SID, here I am using less than equal to. So here I am also including equal to. So what is the output of this code? So you can see here 105 also include, because here equal to up to 105. So less than 101, 102, 103, 104, but equal to also. So you can see 105 Amit also you can see. So here I am using less than, greater than, not equal to, equal to. So all kind of data you can see. Here we can use in where relational operator. So you can see this type of operator you can see. Okay. Now suppose you want to see data in range. Suppose you want to see the data in range. So here I am using between. Okay, so here I am using select star from student where SID, here I am using between 102 and 104. So you can see here I am using range. Here between you can see this is range starting from all the student ID from 102 and 104. Or here I am using star. Star means all the columns. So you can see 102 Sohan, Ajmer. So here this time you can see here I am using between. Okay. So here I am using select star from student where, after where we can use selectively we can specify condition SID. Here I am using between 101 and here I am using 103. Okay, so this time you can see all the records starting from 101 and 103 you can see. Okay, here again I am using select star from student where, okay, SID between 103 and here I am using 105. So you can see all the student ID between 103 and 105. Between all the data you can see. But here you can see only all the columns SID, name, city between this range. But I want to use only name and city I want to see. So here I am using select. Here I am not using star because I want to see only selected column. So here I am using name. Then we can use city. Then table name from student, we can use where SID between 103 and 105. So this time here new thing is here all columns will not show, only here I am using name and city. So you can see all the name, city, Mohan, Pali, okay, Nitin, Rajkot, okay, Amit, Jamnagar of student ID between 103 and 105. Okay, same command you can write in multiple line. Okay, in for our clear understanding from student where SID between 103, and this style also you can use. Okay, either you can use same single line, either you can use select. First we mentioned selected column, then table name from, then we can specify our condition from 103 and 105. So you can see only name and city. Okay, so here I am using between. We can also use not between. We can also use not between. Okay, so you can see from student, here I am using where SID, here I am using not between 103 and 105. So here I am using before not. So you can see, so this range you cannot see. Okay, so you can see only Raj and Sohan. Okay, because here this data you cannot see. Okay, so here I am using select star. Okay, from, you can see student, here I am using where, okay, SID not between 103 and 105. Okay, now this time you clearly see star means all the columns, but here 105, 104, 105 you cannot see because here I am using SID not between. Okay, so this range cannot be included because here I am using not. Last time here I am using between. So you can see the in range you can see this data. Okay, now same command you can use in our logical operator. Okay, So here I am using between, but here same command you can use our AND operator. Okay, so you can see select star from, here I am using student where SID, here I am using greater than equal to 103 and SID less than equal to 105. Okay, so here I am using SID greater than equal to 103. Okay, so you can see 103, 104, 105, all data greater than, and here I am using and SID less than equal to 105. So you can see same command, okay, where SID between 101 and 105 you can write in this style, where SID between 105 and 104. Here in between we cannot use greater than less than symbol. Okay, between we directly mention starting and ending range. But when you use AND operator, and so without between, so same thing we can use greater than equal to 103 and SID less than equal to 105. So same thing you can use in this style. Okay, so select star from, we can use student, here I am using where SID greater than equal to 103 and SID less than equal to 105. So same output you can see. Okay, so here I am not using between, here I am using only AND operator. Okay students, so you can see today I am discussing our where clauses. Okay, and a variety of things you can see. Here I am using relational operators, less than, greater than, equal to, not equal to. Here I am using between with selected column. Here I am using same between we can use AND operator, but in relational, less than, greater than, because we can join multiple relational condition with the help of AND, or not. Okay students, thank you so much.